Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of MO2VATE magazine, where we interview the winning article submitters. And my name is Kim Langling. I am an author, freelance writer, ghostwriter, podcast host of Let Fear Bounce, and a public speaker. And I volunteer my time here to interview the amazing people that submit their stories to the MO2VATE magazine. And today I have with me the beautiful Sherrell and her friend and moral support, Dee. Dee Bailey? Dee, did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm not used to having three faces. So I want to thank both of you, beautiful ladies, for joining me today. And Sherrell, thank you for submitting an amazing article in issue 7 of MO2VATE magazine. And what an amazing journey that you have had. So you were, and I'm going to just jump right into it. You were diagnosed with level 2 autism at the age of 30. But throughout your life, you went through so many things where you had to be hospitalized and get some help and care all over those years without really having a true diagnosis. So I guess my first question is two-part. What is level 2? What does that mean for those people that aren't really familiar with a lot of what autism and the spectrum entails?
There's three levels. Like level one is where you don't really need to hide the autism easily, and so people would think there was nothing wrong with them. Level two, it's kind of the middle stage where you need a bit of support, but you can do some stuff easily. And then level three is where you need like more or less full-time support, and you may not be verbal.
Okay, all right. Now see, I didn't know that there was different levels. Now there's some folks in my life, like from church and such, that their children have autism, and you can see a big difference in all of them. So it's not just autism. I mean, every person, I'm assuming, has different symptoms, and that is at a different level, and it affects everybody totally different. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a wide spectrum, and even people without autism, you can have slight signs of autism, but it's from there's a chart which the more signs you do have, it's when you are more likely to be autistic.
Okay, all right. So, and the only thing that I can refer to is a friend of mine. She has a son who's autistic, and they were told that he would be nonverbal and not be able to be a part of society or anything at all. And he's now 20 years old. He is an absolute brilliant musician and is in college on his own. So, that just exactly praises, huh? Praises on that. But he's an amazing young man. And I don't know what level that might have been. Maybe at that time, 20 years ago, they didn't have levels. They weren't labeled as levels. I don't know. But your journey started, you said you like to write. You started writing, you like to write at a very young age. So tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
um think like Well, because when I was 3, I got diagnosed with selective mutism because people thought that I wasn't verbal, but it's because the speech therapist said that it's because I'm choosing not to speak. But I found that I could express myself better through writing, so I became obsessed with writing around the age of 4. And then, like in primary school, I always enjoyed writing like little books and stuff. But then I also got into astrophysics as well. Like when I first learned based in year 8, and
Astrophysics. That just goes woo right over my head. Writing and astrophysics. That is quite the combination. Now, as a writer
yeah,
myself, as soon as I saw that you were a writer and you started at such a young age, I just sat there. I was in awe of that to begin with. What kind of stories or what types of things do you like to write about?
now I usually do things about me. So majority of my articles have usually been about my mental health and being into astrophysics. And because I volunteered at the Royal Astronomical Society in London, um, I was working in the team to try and get younger people involved and to show that whatever disability you have, you can still try and like follow your career.
Hands in the air on that one. So you are an advocate now. You're an advocate for people. So you're putting your strength out there and giving it to others so they can see themselves as warriors because that's what you are. So you have put yourself out there, like I had said a second ago. You're sharing your story, which is filled with incredible strength and courage. It takes a lot of courage to share your story. And you're putting that out into the world, shedding a light and giving a light to so many others that might be in the same spot or same type of position that you're in. I think that's absolutely wonderful. And how does that make you feel, being able to be a light and be that little ball of strength for others?
I don't know because I don't feel that I am doing anything like special.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to get my feelings out, and yeah.
But you know what, though? I think you're special because it takes tremendous courage to share your story with the
Thank
world. So you are, dear heart, you are something special and you've got a gift. You've got a gift and it's a God-given one. So goodness, you got to share it. And I'm so glad that you are and you've got the support around you to help you get your message out into the world. It's amazing. Now, in your article, you had shared that you had been in the hospital a few times. Were you referred to go into the hospital by doctors, or did you feel that you should put yourself in there so you could get the help or the rest that you needed?
The majority of the time, I usually get sectioned, and so there have been a few times where I've agreed to go because if I don't agree, then they would usually keep me in there longer. But the first time I went to a hospital, I was 17, so I was put in the adolescent unit, and I was sectioned for a year.
Now, what does sectioned mean? Because I don't know if it's called that here in the United States. So, what does sectioned mean?
Um, it's it's when you're made to go into hospital, you have no choice, and um, you get sectioned under a coach from the police, kind of thing.
Okay, okay. So, tell me if you would prefer not to answer, but to me, that would be frightening at the age of 17. I mean, did you understand what all was happening, or was that a frightening experience?
It was a bit, and for the first few months, but because it was an adolescent unit, were it was for people between the age of 11 to 18, and they had an on-site school for people who still wanted to carry on with their education, even though I was doing my A levels at that time, and they don't accommodate for people to do their A levels because they think most people with mental health will only go up to secondary school stage. But my teachers, my head of year would come into the hospital like once a week and bring in my work and stuff. So my actual school was supportive as well. And you do make friends with the other people there.
Okay, all right. You know, and something that I jumped on there when you were speaking, that they, medical field or whomever, think that you wouldn't be able to reach a certain level. They just make that assumption across the board. I don't quite understand that. And I know it's done all over the place. I do know that. But obviously they were incorrect with you, which I love. I love. But I want to get back to your writing. And I think that's part of where our video got a little disconnected there. What is it you said? You had mentioned that you write about you and your experiences, and you're involved in different things, and you get the word out. Do you write other stories outside of your personal stuff? Do you have, like these things that pop up in your imagination and write other little stories or anything like that?
Not really. I think my stuff were always usually based around me.
And astrophysics, do you write about that
Yeah,
too?
yeah. I've done articles about astrophysics just on its own, and I did an article when the movie The Hidden Figures came out, and I did an article just purely based on that. And then I've done article around some of the other people who were working at the Royal Astronomical Society. I would do like a day in the life of them and write about their experience of working for that company.
So they published? Those articles are published?
Some of the stuff is public, most of them is published on their website, and then I've had actual articles in other magazines as well, which I do have published.
That I know that's just awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations. And your the topic, well, actually both topics are so far over my head. So far. I can't even wrap my brain around astrophysics. I couldn't even explain what those two words mean. So I'm in awe. I am in awe of your knowledge and your expertise in that, being able to write about it and be published. That's amazing. Congratulations on all of that. So
And
I am assuming you're going to continue doing that.
yeah, I do want to continue doing that, and I like I've been writing a journal as well at the moment, which is to my mum who recently died, and so like these helped me with a publisher, and I want to work on it for about a year. So I write in it every day, and then hopefully I can get that published, and then there are a few other stuff where I'll contribute in books and stuff as well.
I My next question was going to be, do you ever plan on doing a whole book? And you answered my question before I was able to answer it. Awesome. Awesome. That is awesome. And what a legacy that you will be leaving on your mother's behalf and in memory of her. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. I am in awe of you, young lady. I am. You have accomplished so much, even though the beginning of your life was rocky. And probably, well, there's probably a lot of folks that wouldn't have been able to get through it just as much as you had. Did you have a good support system around you your whole life
Um,
you could get to this point?
I think mainly with medical staff, so like my therapists and different support workers and stuff, and being in school, like I loved school, and so all my teachers were really supportive. It was a bit of a struggle with my family, and my mum didn't understand my mental health and then my autism, so she struggled to understand me. But as I got older, and then when I moved out and lived on my own, me and my mum got closer, and she was really supportive with all of that. But like I've had professionals within my life like the entire time, so I've always got that mental health support there as well.
Okay. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear that you have had the support. Because that could be a bumpy journey for a lot of people, I think, if they didn't have that good solid support. Because it's not only support for mentally, but emotionally for you as well. I mean, as human beings, we need to have those people around us who understand us and can care for us when we may not be able to do that the best at the time. So you've been blessed and fortunate. And even though your road has been bumpy, you've been put on it for a reason. You've been put on it for a reason. We might not understand it, but like I said a minute ago, I am in awe of you, young lady, and I can only see. I have such a feeling that you're just going to keep on growing and blooming. And if the written word is the way that you do that, oh gosh, embrace it and just keep on keeping on. I am telling ya, because you've obviously got a gift, and you're obviously incredibly intelligent, way more than I am. So keep on keeping on, young lady. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the folks that are watching this and listening about a part of your journey, or maybe give a tip if someone meets someone with autism or is on the spectrum? Don't judge. You're not in their shoes. Is there something that you want to leave the listeners with? Just maybe a tip on, what they could maybe take with them as they're out and about.
Well, just probably to never give up. Like if you've got a passion in your life, that don't think that you can't achieve your goal just because you have any sort of disability. Like there's a lot of support out there, and especially if you've been school and go on to university and stuff, because my university, I felt like they helped me a lot to get through my degree. So there's always the support there. You just don't give up, really.
I love that. Don't give up. Simply put, but incredibly powerful. Thank you so much for being with me today and for submitting your article, which was beautifully written, by the way, in issue 7 of MO2VATE magazine. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here. So, folks, this has been another edition of MO2VATE magazine. You want to subscribe to it? Check it out at MO2VATEmagazine.com. That is under the umbrella of Revival Sanctuary. That is the brainchild of Sharon Brown. She is the founder of Revival and MO2VATE and the Speakers Index. So you want to check that out, folks? Go to MO2VATE magazine. You could subscribe, and hey, even why don't you submit your own articles? So again, Sherrell, thank you, and you're a lovely supporter here. Thank you both for joining me. You're both beautiful ladies, and Sherrell, what an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and I wish you all the best and many, many blessings on your road ahead, and I hope that your journey is a peaceful one. And keep on writing, young lady. Keep on writing and keep on shining.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining me, folks, and until next time, we will see you on the next time we're on YouTube here with our next guests. Take care, everybody. Have a great, great day.